hello. I am Zakiya Monique, Master Relationship Strategist, and I want to thank you for tuning in to part three of the series. If you missed any other parts of the series, I'll be sure to link them below, and I'll link some cards up top so that you can go ahead and click and catch everything. Again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. I talk back. I love to talk to you. So let me know how you're enjoying the series thus far. But without further ado, part three is coming right up. I don't know what happened. And here's the thing. Let me say this. It doesn't always take cheating. It doesn't always take cheating. Sometimes we've done some other things or allow some other things to happen and there's a disconnect. So that's what we're talking about tonight is that it's not all of a sudden. Okay. Very seldom is it all of a sudden. And this is why we have to remain in tune and be connected with our spouses so that we recognize when there's a shift. And so last night we covered a bit of ground and we talked about some signs, that they may not say it verbally, but communication becomes shoddy. They start to avoid talking. They stop talking. Women stop talking. They say we nag. Women stop nagging. She don't care. Dependency or dependency on mind altering drugs or mood altering drugs increases. The attitude changes and no time is spent. And let me tell you a couple other ones that I actually threw in there. Access is denied. See, here's the thing. When you keep disappointing a person, when you keep hurting a person, after a while, you lose a little bit more access to them every time. So now they don't share their deepest secrets with you, their deepest dreams with you. They stop having vulnerable moments with you because they stop trusting you. And so a little bit at a time, you lose access to them. You lose access to their most, innermost portions that you once had full access to. And so a little at a time, they're dwindling away. All right. And the more disappointed you become in the choice that you've made in a person, for instance, the more you are hurt and disregarded, the more you are got a disdain for them, you start to fall back. You start to fall back. Okay. And so that is oftentimes what happens is people fall back, trying to not fall out, but they end up falling back to the point where it's just nothing else left. So access denied. And then another thing is he no longer wants to fix your problems and she no longer wants to take care of you. He no longer, when you get to a point where he no longer wants to fix your problems, and when you get to a point where she no longer cares about you and nurtures you, you're in a very dangerous place in a relationship. Because men are fixers. It's in their DNA to solve our problem. If you don't believe me, go home and tell your significant other. If he's a male, go home and tell your significant other that your boss was talking flip out the mouth to you. He gonna say, you want me to come up there? And you're like, no, I'm just venting. Like you literally have to tell them that you're just venting at the top of the conversation because otherwise they're gonna try to fix your problem because that's what they do. Right? So men are fixers. The point at which he no longer desires to fix your problem, you're in a very dangerous place. Very dangerous place in a relationship. Women are nurturers. Even the hardest woman is a nurturer by nature. Guess what? When she don't care what you ate, if she don't care if you ate, if she don't care nothing about your well-being, you're in a very dangerous place in a relationship. And this is where, you almost at that too much has been done space. So you have to be very, very careful because women are nurturers, men are fixers. When people cannot operate in their most authentic self, you're in a dangerous place in a relationship. Okay. So we talked about what causes things to go sour because sometimes we need to know the cause in order to prevent it, right? Number 4, your representative left and the real you showed up. Your representative left and the real you showed up. We often fake the funk a lot because we want somebody to like us, right? So we put on our best hair. We put on our best outfits. We do all of this type of stuff. We don't want them to see us unkept, unkempt, whatever you want to call it. We want to make sure that we are top of the line. We want to make sure we dime fine when they see us, right? And rightfully so. You don't want nobody to see you off guard. But here's the problem. The problem is I remember a man saying that he had been dating a woman for 2 years and he had never seen her without wig and a makeup. Now look, I said to him, I said, sir, I mean this in the most respectful way possible. But be so very careful with that, okay? Because deception is at an all-time high, and I mean that in the way that you probably think I mean it. Because Dating somebody in 2 years and you ain't never seen them without the wig or the makeup on, I'm worried about what you're hiding personally. That's just me. What you hiding up under all that? Okay, I need to know before I commit any further. Okay, I need to know what you had. But it's people out here like that. They will give you the best version of who they are. And after a while, though, time will unravel that. And you'll find out that that package, that beautifully wrapped package that you thought you had was really raggedy on the inside. Before I got married, I used to wear weave. I took my weave out. I told him I don't cook but every other day. I made sure that he knew exactly what he was getting so he could make an informed decision. You can't say, well, I didn't know your hair was like, I didn't know this was like, yes, you did. You know exactly what you're getting, because we do people a disservice when we do not allow them the opportunity to choose. When you offer them a representative, what you're doing is you're choosing for them. And we have to be very, very careful with that, because they'll feel deceived. They'll feel like you lied to me. And essentially you did. Because so here's the thing. It's nothing wrong with wanting to be your best. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But be you. Unapologetically you. And allow the person to choose. Let the chips fall where they may. This is who I am. Good, bad, or indifferent. If it works for you, great. Let's rock it out. If it doesn't, great. I'll figure it out with somebody else. But what you won't say, what you won't be able to say is that I deceived you. You won't be able to say that. Because when we are ourselves, we attract those who are for us. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. But when we are the representative, we attract the representative's tribe. And that's the problem. Because when the representative wear off, and believe me, he or she will, that person will feel deceived because they've made this decision thinking that they were getting this, and actually you just had that covered up, and now you're offering them this. I remember a guy, he was saved, and he talked about the type of woman that he wanted, and this girl wanted him so bad, right? She wanted him so bad that as he told her what he wanted, she said, oh, I don't go out, I don't drink, I don't do this, I don't do that. So he was like, okay, we could work it out. And they were together, and slowly but surely her game started to come unravel. And he found out that she did some of the things that he told her in the beginning that he didn't want done. And it ended very badly. Very badly. And so we have to be very, very careful. Another young lady that I was talking to and mentoring used to always wear her hair over her eye because her eyes a little, it wanders a little bit. And one day I asked her, I said, listen, why are you covering up your eye? I said, that thing bothers me. Why are you covering up your eye? I said, because at the end of the day, if you're tangle-eyed, or if you're wandering-eyed, or if you're lazy-eyed, they're going to see it eventually. I said, you're going to do more damage swooping that hair over your eye because you're going to fool around and get some hair in your eye, and now you all jacked up. You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm not telling you don't put your undergarments on and make your body look like this or like that, but let a person know what they're getting so that there are no discrepancies, because we do enough changing in life. Okay? We do enough changing in life. By golly, don't swindle me. Just be you and let the chips fall where they may. So that was number 4. Number 4, why do things go sour? Because your representative left and the real you showed up, or the real them showed up, and you were like, I went through that. Representative wore off and it was like, whoa, who are you? Whoa, no, I can't rock with that. Okay. And so then I didn't trust. I didn't trust them at all. Because if you lie about who you are, you'll lie about everything else, in my view. So number five, why do things go sour when it comes to the breakdown before the breakup? There is no order. Relationships have to have order. There is no order. You put other people first. If it's your husband or your wife, no one but God comes first according to what you believe. Now, what I believe, nobody but God comes before your spouse. And a lot of people will find this problematic because they're going to say, my kids come first, my kids come first. But what happens when your kids are no longer kids? You think somebody going to sit there? We are together. We are one. Do you think we are one and I'm going to sit there for 18 years and let you put somebody else first? Understand, when I say that your husband or your wife comes first, what I'm saying is that together, you two will bind together, take care of the family. Because when you put a man first, a man, your husband, when you put your husband, who's a real man, when you put him first, he put the family first. You're not going to put him first and then he's going to go off and do what he want to do. No. When you put your husband first and you follow his leadership, he puts the family first because he's an upright man. So nobody loses. I'm not telling you to put somebody first and damage the kids. No, I'm saying put somebody first, and as a result, it's for the betterment of the children because now they get to see a healthy relationship with order in it. We are out of order. We are out of order. And we don't want to admit it. So many of us are out of order. Listen, if it's your husband or wife, nobody but God should come first. This is just what I believe. If you don't believe it, that's all right. Keep going. If it's your man and you're not married yet, or your woman and you're not married yet, nobody outside your house should be first. I'll be doggone if we're going to be man and woman and your mama could come up in here and run things, because then you need to sleep with her. I remember my friend saying, okay, I ain't going to say it because I might get banned from Facebook. I ain't going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Because she said, she said, I'm not going to say it. Anyway, listen, if it is your man and y'all not married yet, should nobody outside that house. If it is your woman and you're not married yet, should nobody outside that house come before you. And if it is your, see, people saying, say it. Okay, that's what she said. She said she told somebody one day, cum is thicker than blood. And I was like, she right. She was like, I can make that man do some stuff his mama can't make him do. Them kids can't make him do. That's what she said. And she's been married 40 years. I'm just saying. She's been married 40 years, still married. So at the end of the day, man and woman, should nobody and nothing outside that house be more important? Husband and wife, should nobody but God be more important? And together, y'all give those kids what they need to go off and become somebody else's husband and wife and have their own healthy relationship, right? So many of us are operating out of order because of the level of unhealed trauma that remains in our lives. And what we will do is we will go shopping, we will go eat, and we will go do a whole bunch of other stuff to get away from dealing with the trauma in our lives. Like as a couple, I just think it is just good to go to counseling. It don't have to be nothing wrong. Sometimes you go to counseling for preventative measures because we change all the time. We change all the time. Like going through a pandemic, you change a lot. Do you know the divorce rates and domestic violence rates went sky high? You know why? Because they was locked up in the house for 2 months with somebody that they like, I don't like you. I realize I don't like you. See, dealing with the hurry and scurry of life, you pass each other by, you don't have to see each other or whatever. But then that pandemic said, no, you're going to go sit right up in that house with them. And baby, let me tell you something. Folks were so scared to go outside. They're like, shoot, I can't go outside, but I don't like it up in here. So when they got a chance to go outside, they went to the divorce court. Because they was like, I don't like you. Unhealed trauma leads to a whole lot of drama. And we won't fix it. We'll just camouflage it, cover it up. It's like my cake, y'all. I got to tell y'all this. So I made a cake the other day. And for some reason, this one cake always stick. It ain't going to do it no more because I'm going to use the other pan. But this one cake always stick. And I was trying to use a glaze to cover up the little pieces that were missing. And it might work with a cake, but it don't work in life. It don't work in life. Because whatever you bury alive, it's going to raise on up. And it's going to raise on up at the most inopportune time. I'm talking about like you just go, and they're like, what happened to you? Deal with your trauma and your drama so that you're not out of order. I'm talking to me too. Shoot. Because when you're a woman and you haven't been led, you know what I'm saying, by a good man, that's a big one too. It's a lot of women that are out here doing the thing, and they want a good man. And when a good man comes along and it's time for him to leave, she be like, he gotta tell me what to do all the time. I gotta follow his lead. I can't just go off and make decisions myself. Cause I never forget, I was working with this girl one time, and her husband had a huge SUV and she had a small SUV. And she left home one day and came back with a huge SUV too. Like, how do you go and buy that type of thing? How you just go and make a purchase like that without discussing it with your husband? Like, what type of rules, what type of plan y'all got? But that's what happens when you're not used to being led, when you're out of order. We do stuff like that. We go do what we want to do. You know? So we got to be very careful. So again, your husband comes first, not at the expense of your children, but together the two of you will give the children everything that they need, including exhibiting a healthy relationship to go off and have the healthy relationships and expectations of their own. That's what I mean when I say that your husband comes first. Let me say it again. Your husband comes first. Your wife comes first, not at the expense of the children, but together, the two of you give the children everything that they need, including exhibiting a healthy relationship before them to go off so that they can go off and have healthy relationships and expectations of their own. So nobody loses. Because when those children leave, you better hope he stay. You better hope she stay. We have seen several homes that were out of order, i.e. Will Smith, i.e. Dwayne Wade, i.e. Bill Clinton. And look what happened. The Smiths been swinging. We're not even going to talk about what's going on in the Wade household because the little baby tells it all. Little baby like, I don't know, who brought me here? And Bill Clinton knows. Hillary been wearing the pants there. But we all remember Monica Lewinsky. When you emasculate a man, he go find somebody to make him feel like a king. Clearly, Hillary don't have no respect for Bill. Clearly. I don't know what happened at their house, but baby, enough of this has happened in the White House. Okay? That little Willow, if she say damn at that red table another time, I was ready to turn the red table over because I said, she say damn one more time in front of her grandma and mama, I'm going to be ready to turn that red table over. The children are resentful even though you give them freedom. The husband still feels, disrespected. Even though he agreed to having an open relationship, but he feel disrespected. Dwayne Wade probably still paying for the baby he didn't have out of wedlock because Gabrielle clearly runs that relationship. But it never ends well. Married or not, a man is not going to remain if your mama come first. Married or not, a man will not remain if your grown kids come first. Hey, the grown kids need to go. Sometimes you got to forgive yourself for whatever you didn't, do, because sometimes them grown kids are just guilting you. You wasn't there for us. Listen, sometimes your parents were growing up too. Sometimes your parents were growing up too, and they did the best they could with what they had. And even if they didn't, you got to release them. For you. Oftentimes, in order for us to receive, we have to release. So release them. Whether they did their best or they didn't, release them. so that you can move forward. Because at the end of the day, your grown kids will be sitting up there with you 30 and 40 and 50 years old talking about what you didn't do, and you'll be feeling guilt. Listen, guilt will cause, I'm telling you what I know. Guilt will cost you more than you can afford to pay. And no man is coming home and big old grown kids up in there. Not gonna do it. Married or not, a woman will not remain if she has to depend on her mama to help her all the time, but you want to assume a position as a man. You can't say you her man, but you ain't her partner. I'm the man of the house, but she got to call her mama for everything. Guess what her mama gonna do? Not respect you as a man. Because you always calling me up over here. Married or not, a woman will not remain if your mama, your kid's mama, your sister, or all those people don't know their place. Some of you men need to learn how to direct traffic. You need to learn how to direct traffic. It is not for me. Listen, I do not assume that I have a place in a person's life. I allow them to define it. And I take it from there. After you tell me what place I have in your life, then I will assume that place in your life. But if you don't define it, either I'm not valuable enough or your leadership is too weak for me, and either one of those don't work for me. If you don't have enough leadership to tell this person to have a seat, if you don't have enough leadership to tell this person to settle down, if you don't have enough leadership to direct traffic and tell everybody where they belong, you're too weak for me. Because I shouldn't have to do it. And I'm not going to do it. You define the place for me. You tell me who I am to you. You tell them who I am to you. And I'm going to be that. No problem. Unless that's a position I don't want to assume. But if your leadership is weak and you can't tell people this is who I decided to spend my life with, you're too weak for me. That's okay. Just find you somebody who okay with that. Because it ain't me. Just the same. I mean, either way, I get the point and I won't be disappointed. Okay? So there must be order in the home, and it is okay if your children come first. Just make sure you with somebody who okay with your kids coming first. But as for me and my house, if I decide to marry you, y'all ain't finna stress my husband out. You're not finna stress mine out. You're not finna do it. There's gonna be a place of peace that he can come home to. A place of peace that he's the king of. Because if I don't feel like he can be a king, I ain't gonna marry him. How about that? How about that? Like I said, putting your husband first is really putting your family first, because that's what he gonna do. And if you don't feel like he would, again, why did you marry him? I'm amazed at the people who will argue about putting their husband first. How is it that you don't want to put your husband first? Why did you marry him if you didn't have no faith in him? I never understand that. Anyway, that was number 5. There's no order. You put other people first. And it won't be long. If you keep putting other people first, everybody else come first before that person. It won't be long before they'll find somebody else that's going to put them first. And rightfully so. If everybody in the world come before me, guess what? Don't even worry about it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Because somebody is over here like, please drop your ruby. Please drop your ruby. I will pick that ruby up, no problem. Please drop that ruby, trying to treat her like she a diamond. Please drop your ruby because you treating her like a diamond. Because somebody will pick it right up like you didn't even know what you had. I certainly hope you enjoyed this content, but don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. I want you to have a great day. You already know how, on purpose. God bless you, and see you in the next video.